This video is going to be themed on r/entitled parents. Hope you guys enjoy. The next post is by u/emotional lesbo. Dad complains about feeling old because I have to use a cane on bad days. I don't really know if this classifies as entitled or not. I just need to talk about it. I'm 24, my dad is 51. Due to the rent market, I still live with my family. I was recently diagnosed with a genetic condition that heavily impacts my joints in my body, causing pain and unreliability. This has of course been devastating for me since I used to be a very active person. I was the kid who would sprint for fun in school just to push myself to be faster. Yesterday was a bad day for me. I had to use a cane to get around and needed to use painkillers that impaired my mental state. This pain has continued into today, but I don't think it's as bad as it was. After dinner, the entire family gets up to help clean the kitchen. I'm doing my best to help, but I'm understandably slower than usual. My dad comments, "I'm going to start calling you grandma name. I already feel old enough as it is without you using that thing," talking about the cane. My stress is high and my head isn't on right, and I was already reluctant to use it. And he makes it about him. I managed to say something along the lines of, "Don't call me that. Is about all I can get out before the tears come. I walk away and hide in my room while he convinces himself that I'm the bad guy and I'm not getting the joke behind my back. Today I get a text telling me I need to take care of some stuff today that hasn't been an issue for weeks, which makes me feel like he's retaliating. Too long didn't read. Dad makes my shitty knee about him and retaliates when I don't get his joke. Edit. My dad isn't the one who passed this condition on to me, so I can't exactly make a joke about his shitty genes." This next post is by u/first_Hughes_1006. Entitled parents let their kids destroy a Petco, and somehow I'm in the wrong for trying to stop it. Okay, for context, I work at a Petco. It's so far been my second week, and I'm loving it so far. But this family has really pissed me off, and I'm shaking as I type this. So I, an 18-year-old female, work at Petco. And earlier today, this family was let in on my shift while I was working. Here's the description of them. Hellspawn 1 and 2. Twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. Both looked around 7, maybe 6. Brat, girl also. Looked around maybe 8 to 10. Failed adoption. Boy, looked around maybe 2 to 3 in stroller. Raised well. Teen girl. Looked 15, maybe 14. Unfortunate dog, their German Shepherd puppy, who, as the name suggests, was unlucky to have them as a family. And finally, the stars of the show, entitled mom and entitled dad. So I was going about my regular shift when this family came in. The first thing I noticed was that Raised Well had a sort of expression that looked annoyed, ashamed even, but I ignored it, and entitled dad and entitled mom asked if they could use the dog wash they had, as they took their dog to play and he got dirty. I happily allowed them, and they asked if I could watch the children as well, of which I reluctantly agreed. It took no more than 30 seconds for Hellspawn 1 and 2 to start messing around, running around, play fighting, and knocking over things in the store, while I and Toe tried to run after the destructive little shits, and also pick up and fix what they had knocked over. It was around here where both the boys had fallen into a large display of kitty litter, and were all the while laughing and throwing it at each other. And now to the other two, Brat and failed adoption. Brat had quickly occupied herself by bothering the poor birds in their cage. Sticking her finger into them, shaking the cage, she even managed to grab one of the poor parakeets' beak. All the while, failed adoption had unbuckled a stroller, had gotten up and grabbed a container of cockroaches and crickets, both food for lizards and frogs, and he began opening them and letting them out on the floor. While this happened, Raised Well was trying to stop the twins, while also taking failed adoption to the side and trying to talk him down. Keep in mind, the parents were witnessing it all, and saying nothing, and it was here where the destructive twins had also focused on the birds, and were also grabbing them, and it was here where I got really, really annoyed, so I tried to grab Brat's shoulder and tried to tell her that she can't bother the birds, and it was here where she apparently had enough too, because she spun around and screamed, "Oh, just let me pet them, you stupid racist bee. They are black, I am white." And finally, entitled mom and entitled dad had finished washing their dog. This has all happened in a matter of 6 minutes. And entitled mom quite dramatically said, "What the hell are you doing to my daughter?" And I simply replied, "Ma'am, I don't know if you have seen, but your children have been making a mess. We have even lost some amount of spilled products, which will have to reimburse us for all the damages. To which entitled mum quickly responded, like hell I will. You racist people are all the same. All the while, her husband was in the background, pathetically agreeing with her. This arguing went on for a while, and it was here where I began to give up and was threatening to call my manager, because not only was she insulting me, but she was also making threatening gestures at me. Finally, after the threat, she had decided to leave, but before they left, Raisewell stayed behind to give me an apology, of which I quickly told her she did not need to. And now I'm getting more and more annoyed as I'm realizing what actually happened there. Honestly, good riddance. This next post is by an unpronounceable, so abracadabra, it's on your screen. Does she want to kill me or simply cause pain? We shall call her Consistent County Karen for this one. This woman has known me for 5 years, and I've had over 50 meals with her, and yet she forgets every single time that I have an allergy to walnuts. Antihistamines are needed depending on the severity, and I can break out into a rash inside and outside my mouth if I eat too many by accident. For some odd reason, she forgets to mention she put them in her cooking until it's too late, and bits have been eaten. Usually after myself and my dear husband notice, and she stops immediately. We mention this to her, and she acts surprised every time. Says she didn't know that and will remember next time. Really? And no lessons learned. She recently came by with a baked treat packed with walnuts and forgot to give us a heads up again. I took a bite of it and let out an annoying grunt, spit it out and told my husband that she's doing this on purpose. He agrees it's fucked up and apologized for her behavior, which upset me even more. Dude, go talk to your dismissive and conniving mother and ask her to apologize to me. I'm feeling annoyed of this shit. My dear husband is supportive but doesn't understand the capacity of how serious this issue is for me, especially since we have a little one. I don't trust her one bit. Edit. Thank you all for your concern. I realize I'm being a moron here for allowing this to happen all these years. I guess I was giving her the benefit of a doubt since she seems nice at first. I thought she was genuinely forgetful, but now I realize after a few series of events that she doesn't care about me. Rest assured, I have been in very low contact with her after a few repetitive incidents. Story time for another day. And I will not be eating any food she makes. Edit. How many types of dishes with walnuts, you ask? Walnut bread, banana nut bread with walnuts, zucchini bread with walnuts, salad dressing with walnuts, chopped walnuts and salad, walnuts cream with pies, roasted walnuts and chicken salad, walnuts cookies mixed with pecans and oatmeal to really fuck with me. This next post is by u/Gracie62. The Christmas Guilt Trip. Here we go. My 59-year-old mom and dad divorced when I was 14. She had an affair with a man across the street. They married, and my brother and I had to move in with them until we were old enough to escape. I despise stepdad, but he and mom were happy together. They retired and moved to Florida about 15 years ago, and I live in Marland with my wonderful husband. For a while after I left, I went no contact. Eventually we talk a couple of times a year. It became a cordial but distant relationship. She was fine with not having her kids in her life, so long as she had him, and we were happy not having him in our lives. So a win-win. Saw them maybe 5 times in 35 years because we were both happy in our respective lives, and honestly we had nothing in common. Cards on birthdays and Christmas max. Then stepdad died of heart complications 5 years ago. Mom was an only child, parents long gone, and just one cousin, who while they're close, has her own life. My brother lives a couple hours from her, but is not financially secure, so can't afford to see her often. I dropped everything and went to the funeral to stay a week. I have traveled to Florida every Christmas since, so she won't be alone. We talk every Sunday. My and husband's mom in Georgia. I've been in Florida the last 4 Christmases. This year I explained that I may not be able to come because of work. I'm an SR director, starting up a new contract next week. I'll know for sure on Monday. Much talk of her sadness ensued. No talk, of course, of the time and expenses of me getting from Marlin to Florida every year, only to learn she's not alone. We're going out to dinner with her friends. Her lots of friends. But their kids are around during holidays, and we're probably part of their lives for the last 40 years. versus our history. Mom calls me on work Friday to tell me she was talking to her friend about my perhaps not coming this year, and telling me how her friend thought it was pretty bad of me to put my job ahead of my mom, and how sad and depressed she was, thinking about being alone with no family and how she's 83 and won't be around forever. I'm so sad and so angry at the same time. If it was her friend saying that and not some nonsense mom made up, does she wonder where I spent the previous 35 Christmases before stepdad died? There was no expectation I'd be there, nor any invitation. I love my mom. I'm sorry her romantic happy ever after ended when stepdad died. But am I responsible for her happiness now? Hey guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and here's some other videos I think you'll enjoy.